TX99, what's that? Williams Field. Grass. Nope. Nope. KMDD. I think we're just going to have to take whatever we can as far as we can. There's nothing perfect here. All of them are pretty much just meh places when you get there. Q37. Doesn't know about Q37. It thinks Q37 is actually a procedure. $141. I think we'll just go there. We'll take those 5 to KBIF. Let's do that. Let's see. You need to rent an aircraft, even though I just said, can I rent it dry? Aircraft is already locked. Wait, what? How can it be locked? It's leased to me. It's some like how can this plane be locked when I've already got it leased to me? How does that work? Is it just completely confused about what's going on here? It says leased from Air Squirrel. So I have it leased. If I have it leased, nobody else can rent it. Right? Maybe your old session hasn't timed out when you crashed. Well, that's true. FS Economy kind of crashed, didn't it? How do I get it unlocked then? That doesn't look good. Let's try restarting FS Economy. Well, this is stupid. Cancel your flights and re-rent. Well, I haven't. If I go to my flight, I don't have an aircraft. If I go to my aircraft, I have this on lease. But if I try to rent it, it says the aircraft is locked. So somebody has got the keys, and it's not me. But they can't. Nobody else can rent that when it's leased to me. Which means because FS Economy client crashed, something is stuck at the back end. And now I can't get the aircraft back. I don't think changing it to 0 is going to help. I think it's like it's locked, isn't it? This is not Microsoft's fault. This is FS Economy's fault. Log out and relog. Re-rent the aircraft now. Wait, have you just unleased it on me? Now it's on 0. You've set it to 0. Aircraft is already locked. It's broken. Each aircraft has a field of the user ID that locked it, so it has to be rent out. How do we reset it? I can't get it back. Yeah, we've locked the keys inside. That's what we've done. People are asking when you're going to play Finland Sim on your Pippa Instagram post. It's all right. I'll just click on the name shortly and ban them all. Go to my flight. Right. Yeah, had this happen to you in your flight, there's a cancel option at the top. Well, no, because I don't have the aircraft. I don't have it rented. It thinks I've got it rented, but I don't have it rented. I broke it. Yeah. Yeah, I restarted my sim and broke it. Why would relogging help? I don't understand why logging out my web browser will help. Like, because underneath the database, this client connects to the database at the back, and it's responsible for what just happened, not the browser session. It's because PSK 870122 has nicked it. But it was leased to me. The plane was leased to me. How can somebody possibly rent it if it's leased to me? And now that it's set to 0, that means he's going to rent it for free, right? It was available for rent. Yeah, for like a split second when somebody unleashed it. But it was locked before that. Do you know, FS economy can be very frustrating. It feels like you can't control your own planes. Because you had a number in the rent dry column, they took it at that stage. What? After your landing, it became available. No, it was leased to me. They can't, that's why I lease it to me, because then they can't rent it. Because the plane is then effectively, to all intents and purposes, mine. If I lease a plane, nobody else can fly it. Like, I've got 2 planes here. Nobody can fly them. Like, this one that Kiwi Craig's leased to me. Nobody else can fly it. Some punk has stolen it. Did you have jobs at the airport? I did, yeah. Okay, well, I don't know what we do with that now, Sammy. Can't do very much with it. You can rent that. Even though it's leased to me. How? I honestly, I don't understand FS economy anymore. You think you've got a plane, but you don't have it. Can I go and, like, fly a Spitfire in DCS and shoot that guy down in the TBM? Because there are amounts in the rental price column. What, this one? What, so you're saying if I set that to 0, you can no longer... Right, okay. Go on, rent it now. So, does that mean you can rent that? Yeah, well, of course you can rent that one. I've leased it to Air Squirrels on me. Of course you can lease that one. I've leased that out. But this one, I've got on lease, so you shouldn't be able to rent this. So anyway, we've got an issue here, Sammy. You can't edit, like, this scumbag. Who's the scumbag who nicked this? Is he in it? He's not even a member, is he? Hang on. I think it's still loading. Yeah, he's not even a member of Squirrel. He's just randomly released it. You now have the 2-hour caravan rented to me. You won't be able to edit it. What? Oh, this one? You've rented this out, so I can't edit that. That's hilarious. So how do I make that? How do I make it so that you can't rent it somewhere? I have to set that to 0? But 0 implies that you can rent it for nothing, surely. That's just so bizarre. It's utterly bizarre. You have to set the wet and dry price to blank. Right, blank, blank. Right, so you're saying that that now means that you can't rent that? Full Metal Cookie, thank you for 2 months. It's just the weirdest system. See, simplistically, my head says, oh, I can rent that for nothing now. Well, since I don't actually have a plane here at KSJT, didn't somebody say there was a Kenga available to buy? Oh, look, there's one available at KSJT where I happen to be right now. Buy a plane with guns, quite happily. Can we afford $1 million plane, Sammy? Even though there's one here with the same price with half the number of airframe and engine hours. No, no, says Sammy, we cannot afford $1 million plane. Well, even if I put another 2,000 in the Squirrel bank account, we can afford that. Easy, mate, easy. What are we talking about? We've got loads of dosh. I can chuck 50 grand in. Put it on the exactly. Put it on the credit card. Why can't we put it on the credit card? Not unless everyone in chat no goes and does a flight. No, we can't. Right, let's see what planes we have got. I might as well cancel all my flight then, right? Because I'm not doing that anymore. Since some scumbag nicked my plane. Do you know what? I hadn't even got out the plane and somebody nicked the keys. It's unbelievable. What the heck is that? I'm sick of bailing planes out. Every time I look at FS Economy, somebody has parked one of our planes in the most obtuse airfield. Rogers. I mean, Rogers. It's a gravel runway. It's literally somebody's drive. How did they manage that? Well, he probably had a job to go there, and when he got there was no jobs coming out, so he's like, oh, I'll leave it there. Let somebody else to do it. There should be something in FS Economy where if you fly to an airfield that doesn't have any jobs, you get penalized. Cove. Hang on, let's have a look at what's nearby. this thing. Not a lot. It really is in the middle of nowhere. Good grief. Like, this guy has put it 40 plus nautical miles away from anything. You watched a guy buy a Kingo on stream only to find it at a strip with no fuel. That's the length of a cricket pitch. Honestly, if you buy a plane with no fuel, you deserve... I don't like the look of this. Airborne, fuel loaded 12%. Who's got that? 208 Sierra, Quebec. Doesn't tell me who's got it. Hang on. Kieran Blade. Kieran Blade has got one of our planes. I don't know where he's going, but that fuel level's pretty bad. If he lands at an airfield with no fuel loading, that could go horribly wrong. Do I need it? No, I don't need it. I'm just saying that Kieran, I'm just saying that you're pretty low on fuel. And wherever you're going, hang on. Wherever you're going, if that destination doesn't have refueling, that could be an issue. That's what I'm saying. I don't need the plane. I'm just worried about it. Where's this KAWO? What on earth is that? Arlington. Arlington Municipal. You think it was super cheap? You didn't think twice. I've seen that done in On Air as well. You buy a plane with like no fuel and you have to bring fuel barrels in. It's really annoying. Right. We're going to KMDT. We're not going here anymore. KMDT. Oh, it's on the East Coast near Boston. Mason Dixon Air. Just go and nick someone else's plane, yeah? It's 4 we can take there. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, how much fuel's in it? 50%, loads of fuel. So we're going to go from KMDT and we're going to go to KOKV. Just down the road. Clara paid to the group Squirrel 759, paid to pilot 2,400. Tricker J, what do you mean? Change what, Sommy? I've just leased a different plane now. Sommy, I've leased a completely different plane. If you can edit that one back again, then just put it back to normal. I don't need to lease it anymore. The FSE cut. Trying to remember, actually. 45% pilot fee. Benna, thank you for a month. Ready to fly. Right. FS economy's here. Let's have a look at the possible flight we can do. It's only 90 nautical, so we're not exactly going to go very high, are we? Yeah, I know, Sammy. I'm only going to do this one trip, I think. So let's have a look. Some jet did it. Turboprop. Where's the show on map? Weather. So in theory, it's suggesting runway 13 out of here. Use the propeller on the punk who nicked the plane. Wow. So take off out of runway 13, take that route, approach in. We can do various things. We could try shooting the ILS into 3-2 for the lols, although that's probably the wrong wind, isn't it? Depends what the wind is doing down there. Calm. It's fairly calm wind, so we could do whatever. Could try that. See how that works out. Right, let's see if we can get that into the sim. If it's possible for someone to steal Tor Cessna in the group flight, could you end up flying an Airbus? I'm not really sure what you mean.
TOS system test. Okay.
I prefer the King Air voice. But that guy goes, TOS system test. Okay. That's brilliant. All right, let's see what we got. Add origin. KMDT. Destination. KOKV. En route waypoint. HAR. Duplicates found. 16 nautical miles away. Sounds about right. Yep, that one. And then HDR. Which should be... It's got to be that one. Okay, that looks fine. Any chance you'll be participating in World Flight starting this upcoming weekend? I've got no idea about that, Kamikaze. World Flight, is that the one that the boys do in the sim? MRB. Okay, looks good so far. And then we're into procedure. Approach ILS 32 via the JSON transition. Okay, we're all punched in. We'll have to figure out the procedure plate and stuff when we get up in the air. Banner, thank you for gifting us up to Kieran Blade and to Clara SDK. Welcome, guys. So we're going to have to taxi along there, turn around and take off on 1-3 is what we're going to have to do. It's our Discord group now. Unless you guys want to make one. I mean, you know, you're all in the Discord sub-server. You're welcome to jump into a voice room. Talk to each other. Auto. On. World flights where teams from around the world do a round-the-world flight starting and ending in Sydney with more than 20 stops along the way. Not familiar with it, Kamikaze. Right, flight directors are on. Put that into GPS. That can go into nav 1 that we'll figure out later. It's just still not got the wind data in this thing. Why is today going so fast? Because it's Sunday? And you've probably got work tomorrow? The wind settings are in the touchscreen display.
Oral warning, okay.
You've been off for a week. Oh, no wonder. PFD settings, wind option 3. No wind data found. Okay. Right, let's just start the flight. That felt like fuel being loaded. Dude, why is this guy moving? Stop moving, bro. Well, that was fun, having my plane nicked. Right, want a cheeky right turn, taxi down the runway. Well, taxi down the taxiway and then turn around and come back. Looks like the cloud layers are a lot more substantial on the East Coast than it was where we were flying. I don't know. Army gamer. Do you know what you are playing at 5? Yep. Do you? Plane nicking simulator. Hey, if you mention that to throwaway games, they'll make one. Plane nicking simulator. They'll do that. They'll just take Thief Simulator and adapt it slightly. Your job is to nick planes for a living for your clients. Actually, not a bad game idea. I'd play it. Plane repo is a real-life job. Oh yeah, I'm sure it is. Any kind of repo is a real-life job. That's the kind of job where if you don't like dealing with conflict, you're in the wrong job. Right, trim is set, flaps are set. Now strobes, landing lights are on. Approach is clear. Autopilot's all set up. Power set, we've got airspeed. Gears coming up. Flaps are coming up. Wow, it's a really murky day around here. Let's get this thing turned around. Yeah, so 1702 will be fast enough. That's where I'm going to fly. Yaw damper, half bank mode. Autopilot. Ovex, thank you very much for subbing. Welcome to the Net House. It's a very murky day. Wow, look how close that airfield is to this one. That's crazy. What does half bank mode do? Basically, it halves the banking turn rate. So if the autopilot needs to turn right and it basically turns over at like that, say like 40 degrees, it'll only do 20. Yeah, it's not as an aggressive turn. Instead, it just banks at half the rate, which I find works fairly well for the autopilot in the sim right now. Stops it being too aggressive and like overcorrecting constantly. Snow Leopard, thank you for 22. Jagger, all times are listed in Zulu time. To curtail our climb, otherwise we're going to be in the clouds. So we either go in the clouds and above, or we stay underneath them. How's the weather currently? I think it's a bit like this. Maybe not quite as much cloud, but it's a bit like this. Finally did an RNF approach yesterday, so much easier than ILS. Why is it easier? Right, this is where we are going. 3,700 on the approach. Localizer is 1090.55. Enough. .55, which I think is what we said. It's a nav 1. So that should pick up that localizer. Don't think there's a VOR nearby. Oh, there isn't it? There is one nearby, actually. Casanova. Trouble is, like 22 nautical away, it's just not really worth it. So that should appear in nav 1 there. Tony, our nav is basically area navigation. It's essentially a GPS track around the map. Think of it that way. An ILS is both lateral and vertical guidance into a runway. It's quite a different thing, really. Alright, Cook, see you at 5. I just hope that we can punch out of this cloud layer. Looks like we can. Don't think the bridge is connected. There we go. It wasn't showing the position of my plane on the 4 flight map. Which now it is. Arnav has a glide slope. Some of them do. Not all of them do. Some of them are just lateral. Exactly. Arnav is a non-precision approach. So it'll have a chart which shows you like various points on the approach into the runway, like what altitude you should be at. And it'll have very different minimums. ILS will have much lower minimums.
Destination AWAS is 124.85.
So 3,700 at Clad. We're going into Jason, aren't we? Jason. Initial approach fixed. Clad is there in the middle. So I think if we get down to 3,700 at Jason, which is here, that's 5.4 to Clad. That'll give us time to slow down. That's what we should aim to do. And the course inbound is 324. Oh boy. That suddenly happened. Is that snow on the windscreen? No, it's Microsoft's slightly overly done ice because we passed through moisture, so it full on iced us up. But let's get over the top of this. I might do one of those at some point, Panda, yeah. VOR explanation kind of needs diagrams, you know what I mean? What did we say? 231. 324. 324 degrees, there we go. Yeah, where we was flying earlier was just lovely weather, and here is just, it's pretty nasty. Snow Leopard, thank you for 22. Look at that icing effect. Looks like somebody scratched the paintwork. You missed summer already. Lol. Alright, 3,700 is what our target's going to be. He did a delivery of what he did, like the squirrel delivery. This one. Doing well, Duck Norris, thank you. Won't be very long before we start ascending. Delivery with ice marking.
Transition altitude.
I wonder when they're going to let us actually set the main barrow and the standby barrow at different pressures. Heart of Darkness, you could try putting the half bank mode on. Stops it being so aggressive. This J Spolly, this is a 2080 Ti. You're playing Red Dead 2 on the PC for the first time. Enjoy. That looks like some pretty nasty weather over here. Which is kind of where we're going. You tried it with the half bank on, still the same. Make sure you've got music turned on, Duck Norris, because that game with music on is a lot better. Just gonna move this out the way. Yeah, they look good, but you don't want to fly through that. Not unless you want a bad day. Right, time to go down. You tried the Unreal weather earlier. It gave you clear skies in and around Houston, and Microsoft Live gave me thunder and gloom. And what should it have been, Possum? What does Unreal weather do exactly? Is it basically like a weather injector? It feeds live meta to the sim. Have you tried it, Floating Fat Man? Is it any good? You think Microsoft was closer? Where do I get it from to try it? Alright, thanks, Trucker J. That's pretty cool, just flying over the tops of clouds like that. Well, looks like we're going straight into that big boy. Not the best plan. Graphics mod for Red Dead 2, no. I played it vanilla. Alright, Sony, have a good one. We're going in. The de-icers are on, mate. It's going to get bumpy. No muffins. You can't... If you're flying VFR, you can't legally do this. I mean, there's nothing to stop you doing it, but you can't legally do it. Yes, muffins. I mean, the thing is, muffins, technically you need an instrument rating to do this. Meta into weather results in hard updates. Microsoft had to find a mid-ground between prediction and reality. So that Unreal Weather then, does that actually pop weather in? Oh yeah, Bri, absolutely, mate. We are flying into known icing right now. Like, if you was doing this IRL, there's no way you'd do this. You'd have gone round that. Where's the camera for your flight controls? Yeah. The camera's basically there. Wow, look at this, like, massive red danger area here. What's all that about? Finger looking good, yeah. If you say so. Oh boy. What do you mean, ban it, Benner? I kind of already did. Remember the guy that came into chat and told you that you have nice fingernails? Yeah, you get weird people like that. It's the internet. RRKR, thank you for 2 years. Wow, this cloud layer is a lot lower than when we left. When we left, it was about 10,000 feet, and now we're still not popped out of it. I'm kind of glad we're shooting the ILS right now. Maybe the DC no-fly area ensure exactly where you are. Yeah, it probably is. Any idea why it's there? There's something going on? It's a constant no-fly zone. Oh, right. That's a very big area. Are you saying all of that is a no-fly zone? Okay, we're 7,000 feet and the clouds are still there. Interesting. I can see the ground. No, it's 4 flight. And we're back in the soup. Why is it restricted? And it's raining. That's where the White House is. So, I don't understand. Why has it got a constant... What's the restriction exactly? Planned flights only. So if you're a GA pilot living in that area, it's horrible. You've got to file flight plans just to go anywhere. Ouch. Otherwise you get shot down. Awesome. Good stuff. Whoops. Triple CE, thank you for 58 months. Looks like we've got a bit of a hill underneath us. You can kind of see it there as well. It's ridge. Say for example you wanted to switch from Intel to AMD, but you know that next year the AM5 will be coming out. What should you do? Alban, you should always wait for the next tech to come out. And just before you're about to buy that next one, you should wait for the next one after that. Because it's always going to get better, so definitely don't buy anything, ever, because it will always be improved on. Right, now we just start slowing down a bit. Managed to get in at 3700. When we go right turn at Clad, that's when we need to start following the localizer. Try and get it on to 200 now. Restarting the sim seems to have helped with the banking issue. Fair enough. It sounds like the same bug where it'll just suddenly like nosedive into the ground. Is 4Flight better than Garmin Pilots? I actually don't know. I've not used Garmin Pilot. Yeah, I'm super happy that we flew the ILS. Because this is hard IFR right now. Right, we've got the ident on the localizer down the bottom there. ITZX, which is correct. So when we make this turn, 12 nautical mile out. And then we'll tell it to follow nav 1. Put on heading mode, and we'll flick that onto localizer, back onto nav. And we'll arm the approach because I can see the glide point coming down. Drop the gear. Turn it off half bank mode so we can get stuff done. .11 nautical out. Bye, Jokesy. Thank you for 3 years. Happy anniversary, sir. Right, it's captured the glide slope. Gear is down and indicating. Yeah, we had to go over those hills. That's why it was 3,700 back there. Right now, we're pretty high on profile. Doesn't feel like it's V-naving properly. It's overshot the vertical profile and it's not getting it back. So I'm just going to fly it manually. Even the flight director's telling it to pitch up, look. Even though it's above, like we're above that green dot, but the flight director's telling it to pitch up. It's really weird. Okay, right, we're back on profile.
Final runway 32.
Yeah, I did arm the approach mode. I don't know why it didn't capture. You can see that light is lit. I did arm it and it did capture it. It said GS in green, but it just didn't... I don't know. It didn't... The flight director didn't fly it properly. It's not that it didn't capture it. It didn't fly it properly. I don't know why.
100.
should go off at this point. I can go off at this point. And we're down. That was a fun little flight. A little bouncy. Well, it wasn't that bouncy. It came back up slightly and then it touched down again. It's fine. Cool. Everything's beeping now. Done. Let's see what Squirrel thought about that. $2,800 earned. Nice. Mr. Alex also brought in $4,000. Bit further. Looks like he got more on his plane than I did. Nice. Yeah, it's great timing. Right, I'm going to take a break, guys. It's 4 o'clock. I will be back in 1 hour's time when we're going to do a group flight. I'll be flying the Cessna 172. So if you want to take part in the group flight, !route will show you the route. Get yourself set up. We're going to fly around the Philippines. I'll be back in 1 hour's time. If you're heading out this evening, have a great Sunday evening. And if you're going to be back in an hour, then now's a great time to go and get your sim set up or get your snacks or whatever you're doing. And I shall see you all in an hour's time. Take it easy. Bye for now.